back to my bottle.
Yep.
Share that bottle.
Is there really beer in there?
Yeah, I had whiskey before I came here.
Okay, good.
Oh, we thought there was Jameson in there.
No. I walked out here at like 6, and then I was like, man, am I too early for this crap? I'm gonna go to the Irishman and have a double Jamie.
Yep.
So I sat there and pretend to be completely interested in Seahawks preseason. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Hey, fuck you, man.
Hey, did you?
Preseason is the shit.
And then I'm talking to people at the bar going, hey man, did you bring that beer cozy? Or can you get that here? And that was my 45 minutes before I came here. Okay, either way. So we've all laughed, we've all done all that. Now let's cry for a little bit. This one goes out for my cousin, which is doing much better now. Yeah, it was actually really good to hear him the other day. He's doing great. He moved out of a hard time. Yeah, fuck it, here it goes. It's called Black Spiral. Running away in youthful bliss, we found ourselves viced between headphones, escaping within beat, melody, and harmony. The headphone cord coiled down to a circle of black vinyl, spinning a controlled clockwise, bumps on records traced and reverberated through a needle connected to a player's arm. Joyous expressions filled our faces watching the merry-go-round of music. Time had no meaning, and life's struggles swept under the rug, hidden by passing beats. I never imagined you to turn the black vinyl into tar, or expected the needle to relocate from player's arm to your elbow pocket. Needle-filled black slowing heartbeat pumping its way to evade life's clutches because the needle now traces and reverberates through your bloodstream instead of our headphones. The kiss of your mother no longer rocks you to sleep. That was traded in for heroin dreams. Now our family asks, how deep of a sleep do you crave? Because when the results came in, you woke up in a cold cell with frozen concrete on your back representing you yearn for another fix. I hear your out-of-tune notes and offbeat rhythms and think, this is the worst song I ever heard.
I can go forever.
So yeah, no, he's doing good now. He wasn't that when I wrote it. Yes. Okay, now this is kind of I'm going to need everybody to kind of participate in this one. Participate. And you have to be honest, right? So when I say something and you can agree, you're going to raise your hand. And you're not going to drop it until I start tangenting. Make sense? Or else you guys are going to be really tired like David. So, by show of hands and be honest, how many people here were adopted? How many people here were raised by an aunt or an uncle? Leave your hands up. If you had your hands up once, leave them up. How many people here were raised by grandparents? How many of you felt that you had to raise yourself on the street? How many of you were raised by a single parent and dealt with step-parents? Now, how many of the rest of you were close to people who were raised from a broken home? Look around. Seriously, take a look around. And you wonder why we're called the selfish generation. We shed our skin of hope watching failed first drafts and heartaches telling us to keep chasing our dreams, while we witness the voices of encouragement rip apart like a dream catcher would to the precision of a knife, testifying prayers with shredded edges separating their magic carpet ride. Behind every broken home is a shattered child, doubting every piece that they are forced to pick up blindly so they can create the picture of a puzzle that they were victimized by. Benign words used to pave sidewalks for the generation standing in front of us, sodded away by impulsive behaviors, and that is the puzzle that we put together. It's not our fault that that the generation dealing with their own failure decided to label us the selfish generation. In fact, it makes perfect sense. Just the other day, a sister and brother buried themselves under bed sheets because the screaming of their parents' unhappiness vibrated bedroom walls so loud they cannot bear the sound of how they are learning to love. Those children became equally disturbed at the silence of the house when their mother's voice represented the newfound absence of their father. And their mother's voice also represented a memory of them waving goodbye to him from the living room window every other weekend. Just the other day, a second grade boy understands what an interrogation room feels like when his teacher pulled him in front of the class for a Q&A about why he's being raised by his grandparents. Receiving bullets to the mind disguised as questions, he never thought anything was wrong, but his grandparents had plenty of explaining to do when the school bus dropped him off. Just the other day, a 15-year-old boy took multiple blows to the head for initiation when he decided to let gang influence be his guidance. It is no different from the boy on the opposite side of town crowning his head with a military school hat, being cast off to receive a fist-pack lesson called discipline. Both sets of parents obviously confused empathy for apathy. Just the other day, the government wrote a check to people irrelevantly labeled foster for a child whose name is now case number 6427-whatever. The unemployed parents know how to clean up and enforce submission whenever the door knocks, and the caseworker still stares down the frozen face of a girl after he asks if her foster parents have ever properly touched her. Her stone face blacking out the only answer she knows how to release: fear. Just the other day, a respectable banker comes home from work, walks upstairs to the closet, and hangs a donut by the string to celebrate his adopted son's birthday by staring at him in the eye and declaring, if he eats it, he will beat the shit out of him. Apparently, the banker felt like less of a man from his boss, leading him to the decision not to adopt a human, but rather sign up for a whipping boy. Just the other day, a 16-year-old girl checks into a shelter covered in makeup but more or less considered to be war paint to hide her bruises handed down by her 32-year-old mother. The girl ran to the shelter to protect her pregnant body. It is a shame that both the mother and daughter learned how to love on their back instead of through their soul. I wish it was only just the other day, but unfortunately it is every fucking day. And I perpetually wonder how far back the slow unraveling of the single natural emotion human beings are gifted with has been depleted. Being a parent must be hard. Being a single parent has to be even harder, and a big kudos to the ones who selflessly stuck in there. But can I remind you, being a teenager or a child is being impressionable, susceptible, and malleable, which can easily lead to an ignorant adult lifestyle because of an early trauma. The baby boomer generation was in between 1946 to 1964 with a population of 76 million. The millennials, aka the selfish generation, are born in between the early 1980s and the late 2000s with a population of over 95 million.
Yeah.
Once again, by show of hands, how many people here are parents? How many people here have ever been children? Look around. You all know what it's like to want to be loved. It's time to start spreading that message. That one's like brand new shit. Like I just got done with that like 2 hours ago. Yeah, I took a lot of trauma therapy and I learned a lot of shit. Where am I going? How am I going on time? I don't even know what time I started. Fuck it.
What he said. Fuck it.
Alright, I'm just gonna keep it dark because I'm there. I'm just gonna stay there. This one's called Ocean's Hourglass. The EKG meter acted as a stopwatch, counting down lost time. Each beep in line further and further apart like it was hooked up to me. My heart bumped in distances of hours as I watched sands from an hourglass displaying lumps from the deep ocean, emerging to shore with violent unison, orchestrated by Earth, never coming to terms with the beach being the end of the line. The talisman of my free thought used its ink to flow out tiny granules crashing at her wave bed. I cannot reverse the wave and command the sand back to the lively ocean. Oh my God, I just killed her. So if you guys didn't know, I was raised by my grandmother, and I was forced with a very tough decision a couple years back to pull the plug on her. So that's kind of what that was from. So yeah, so it's not like I go out and like murder people. That's not my style. I don't even like hugs, but I don't like stabs even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just continue on with that one. I stared out my window at Port Gardner Bay and inhaled, closed my eyes and cast out a message in a bottle with perimeters of purely air. No physical bottle was involved. I wanted to believe that guardian angels were real. I do not remember my wish. I simply missed your forgotten face. I wanted to believe that you were still here, painted inside of clouds. Instead, I looked at the sky spread out like sheet music, dancing to what we held hands to, sharing glowing smiles, swinging life away on a living room rug. You've not haunted my dreams lately, which leaves me curious if I'm doing right or wrong. I cannot remember the silhouette of your face while I sleep. It must be how a train or building feels when painted over, wondering if this is beauty or vandalism. The lessons you instilled are now echoed streams into an empty canyon.
Oh no, she'll read.
They all disappear. To a soundly mirage of water craved by a dehydrated man, Dave Burbeck's Take 5 masks Jeremy by Pearl Jam, and then Take 5 gets swept away inside Coldplay's trouble, as if life is so desperately trying to pull me away from your memory. To be buried alive inside of some place that I crave to feel but barely imagine. I stare out my window begging for a lightning strike of proof to come through, so God, Jesus, Judah, Buddha, guardian angels, whatever exists, but please, wait till I'm coherent enough to feel it. Your absence has left me empty through a funnel of quicksand because tar pits do not have enough depth. I'm tortured by our understandings and no longer feel connected to others. So I stack up double whiskey meats and allow society to remove them from my table. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, easily 5 stacks high. The dark bar makes their living off my subliminal agony. The carried away glasses represent my yearning to love again. I reach for hollow fulfillment because I'm all out of resources, so please, Grandma, take me home.
Woo!
Oh yeah, let's do funny stuff. I'm not gonna get there. Like you guys might not be there, I'm there, so let's go funny. Yeah. How many people here are smokers?
I don't want to be one.
Yeah, that's the most truest statement. I don't want to be. That means that I am. I don't like to smoke cigarettes, but I really do.
Anne's the proudest smoker here.
Cigarettes are just another reason.
You're the proudest smoker.
I'm a social
Yeah,
pariah.
Yes.
Good Lord. Hell yeah. Okay, so I'm actually going to end it on a happy note tonight. I wasn't going to end it the way I was going to, so...
Never end it!
Huh?
Never end it.
Never ending story.
Purgatory, we're forever.
I'm not being That would not be purgatory.
This is definitely fucking purgatory.
I can think of Helen Kruger things.
What the fuck am I?
No, I think it's gonna be hell.
Shit!
And I would get no attention.
Okay.
That would not.
So this one, it's called Smoky Romance. Yeah, we gotta have a prop when you're talking about self-depletion. Here we go. I inhale and think to myself, man, am I in lust with you. I depend on you to relax. You are my check-in, my lifeline, my key to feeling dominant. You are always listening, never complaining, all satisfaction and never jealous. From the way I flip you over and compact you on the inside of my palm, then remove your transparent dressing by one easy pull of a string, I open your top, just as simple as it is for you to never leave my mind. You are, after all, the key to my heart, the air to my lungs. You live with me for a brief moment, but you live in me for a lifetime. You take my beatings like a true masochist. Because when I take from you, I never give back. Oh, I'm not done, people. I leave your void with no remorse, only growing larger until your box is empty.
Wow.
And then I always replace you with your twin sister. All the while leaving you behind in flames, tossed aside without a care of where you wind up. And then I exhale and whisper this into your ear. My smoking hot mess, my abused muse, I must confess, I cannot kill you, but nonetheless, you are killing me. Thank you, Everett. Seriously. It's been a long, hard road out of hell, and I feel that I have done it. All because of you guys. Friends, poetry people, yeah. I'll go home and have a moment to myself, not like how Wayne would probably put in like a masturbation thing right there. But yeah, this means a lot to me. Yeah, I've been through a very dark and hard spot, and I had a lot of trust issues, and this place really helped me discover it. to get better and shit. Oh my God, you're laughing about the trust issues. And you wonder why I drink and smoke so much. Did you say swishy shoes? What the fuck is swishy shoes?
That's when you urinate into your
Yeah.
shoes and they become squishy.
So either way, if you guys like my stuff, yeah, I've got books. One book is $10.
Holy.
3 books are $15.
Only $15.
Only $15. But either way, thanks, Everett. You've been great, not just tonight, but for a long time.
Hey, give it up. David Arthur. Woo!